Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. Anyone would accept that flying on board an AC-130 gunship is more like staying in a bunker. The state-of-the-art weaponry and countermeasure systems have much to offer to protect the aircraft and wipe out enemies on the ground during a mission. Dates back to the 1920s, when side-mounted guns were tested on de Havilland DH-4s. Since then, gunships have played an unassailable role in providing much required close air support to ground troops. AC-47 Spooky and Fairchild AC-119 played their roles as gunships with immaculate outcomes. AC-130 joined the clan in 1968 and remained to be the epitome of gunships. The AC-130 is an ideal assortment for close air support, air interdiction, and armed reconnaissance. The U model, or the Spooky, is a third-generation gunship that has side-firing cannons of 40mm and 105mm, and a 25mm Gatling gun located on the port side of the gunship. The M102 105mm howitzer is the largest gun to take flight. This lethal weapon can fire 10 rounds per minute in rapid-fire mode. The L60 40mm Bofors cannon fires 100 rounds per minute, while the 25mm GAU-12 Gatling gun has a whopping firing rate of 1,800 rounds per minute. The gunship is extremely versatile, as it got the ability to engage two different targets at the same time. Loading the AC-130J Ghost Rider, the newest addition to the U.S. Air Force, is a task of its own. Unlike its predecessor, the Ghost Rider is equipped with a precision strike package with wing-mounted small-diameter bombs and Hellfire missiles. The laser-guided Griffin bombs are mounted internally and released through the rear cargo door. Munitions systems technicians place the bombs on rack units that will fix into the external hardpoints. They use bomb loaders to move bombs around and a jammer to raise the bombs to the mounting pods under the wing. Small diameter bombs, SDB, such as GBU-39 and Hellfire missiles, such as AGM-114, are mounted into the external racks. Each bomb rack unit can hold up to 4 small diameter bombs, fully utilizing the external hardpoints. With all this cutting-edge ordnance fitted to the outside, the inside of an AC-130 is not second to its outside glamour. The state-of-the-art cockpit with fully integrated digital avionics is all that a pilot would ask for. Each pilot has a heads-up display made to improve the pilot's situational awareness by displaying timely information on the display. The Combat Systems Officer, CSO, stays with the pilots in his dedicated flight deck workstation. The cargo bay of the gunship houses a Mission Operator Pallet, MOP, that controls all the systems attached to the Precision Strike Package. A Weapons Systems Officer, WSO, or the WISO, controls the MOP along with a Sensor Operator. The WISO does all the targeting and controls the triggers, while the Sensor Operator controls all sensors fitted to the gunship. Apart from the immense firepower built into the gunship, its electronic warfare systems make the aircraft unbeatable in all forms. Radar warning receivers and missile warning systems warn the pilots of any incoming threats from the ground or air, while countermeasures dispensing systems spoof the incoming missiles, protecting the gunship. The aircraft's navigation is backed by a dual inertial navigation system and a global positioning system, GPS. The redundancy built into the gunship through GPS hardening preserves operational capability and fire control, even under GPS jamming, spoofing, and obstructions. With all of these systems built into the gunship, preparing this beast for a flight is never an easy task. All the actions start with a mission brief that covers every bit of information regarding the mission. Once aboard, pilots shoulder their duties, preparing for the mission. Pilots evaluate aircraft characteristics against the data provided to decide the required runway length, takeoff speed, available range, and other vital parameters. In the meantime, airmen conduct pre-flight inspections before each flight to ensure all systems are working as intended. During the pre-flight inspection, a thorough walk-around through landing gears, engine intakes, propellers, exhausts, and other vital components, such as pitot probes and static ports. Once airborne, gunners follow a process called tweaking by firing a few rounds to identify how the gun behaves under specific conditions. Loading the gunship with munitions is the next Herculean task airmen should undertake. In an AC-130J Ghost Rider, both 30mm Gauss 23 chain gun and 105mm cannon use shells of different sizes. The greatest of the two is the 105mm shell, weighing around 50 pounds. Airmen transport rounds from the bomb storage area to be loaded into the storage racks in the gunship. All the rounds are thoroughly inspected for defects before storing them in the racks. Unlike firing a gun on the ground, all hands on board work in liaison when firing rounds from the gunship.
On to copy. Pitch your main and lower.
A mission carried out by the AC-130 is teamwork, where everyone plays crucial roles. Pilots focus on maneuvering the gunship to provide the best possible shot for the weapons systems officer. Once the target is identified, pilots enter into an orbit called a pylon turn to allow more opportunity for the Wizzo to fire on the target.
They're trying to conserve ammo. They're trying to conserve 30 ammo. They're going to call for fire.
When 105mm shots are fired, the recoil pushes the aircraft 6 feet in the opposite direction, while each 30mm round buzzes the entire gunship. Pilots of the AC-130 gunship are trained to counter the recoil and stay in the desired orbit, allowing continuous engagement. AC-130J has an improved version of the 105mm howitzer with side-by-side recoil cylinders. Working around the howitzer is a demanding task. Gunners load the gun with rounds from the storage racks into the barrel. Upon firing, the gun recoils with massive power that could crush anything in its way. A safety cage is installed to protect the gunners from the recoiling cylinders. Apart from seeing an AC-130, ground troops expecting air support would go ecstatic hearing the burst of an A10 Thunderbolt. The A-10 was originally designed as a close air support aircraft to support ground troops by neutralizing armored vehicles and tanks. What makes the Thunderbolt so special is its powerful Gatling gun located at its nose. This 30mm GAU-8 Avenger gun fires its depleted uranium shells at a fierce rate of 70 rounds per second. The ammo drum is located just below the avionics compartment and accessed via a panel forward of the left main landing gear. Airmen use a dedicated linked tube carrier GFU-7E 30mm ammunition loading assembly cart to load the rounds. Normally, 3 airmen take part in the loading process. The gun's magazine could hold up to 1,174 rounds in one sitting. With the super agility and extra protection built into the A-10 Warthog, it is the ideal aircraft that could endure the hazards in a strafing run. No battle tank or armored vehicle could survive after taking hits from its Gatling gun. More than 80% of the shots fired at a distance of 4,000 feet, which is the gun's effective firing range, will land on a 20-feet radius circle around the target.
Check.
With this impressive track record, it is hard to imagine a tank sneaking under the eyes of the Warthog. Even though some fighters like F-15E and F-35 Lightning II are not ideally meant for providing close air support, that does not mean they are not capable. These aircraft are fitted with Gatling guns to call for action when the need arises. Pilots go through recurrent training on strafing runs at training facilities to hone their close air support abilities. A facility dedicated to practicing strafing runs has a range with different mock targets that pilots can shoot at. Flying a close air support aircraft is truly a demanding task. Pilots fly the aircraft and maneuver it to a position for firing while watching for incoming threats from the ground and air. The huge contribution of gunship pilots in providing the back for ground troops is truly commendable. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel